the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video. Yes, you're applying for a job. Yes, you need the money or whatever the case may be. You need the experience, whatever. But they need you too. That's why the job opening is there. Hi, my name is Melissa. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you guys today with something a little bit different. So I've been working in human resources for the past 2 years. And now I'm transitioning into talent acquisition, which is a fancy way of saying recruitment. And with that being said, I've gone through a series of interviews in the past 2 months. So I am pretty familiar with the key questions that interviewers are asking in 2021. So if you're interested in getting prepared for your own interview and you would like to hear from the source, someone who's been through interviews recently and someone who works in HR, more specifically talent acquisition, keep watching. Okay, so one of the questions that they are going to ask you for sure is, tell me about yourself. And a lot of people trip up on this question because they don't want to seem boastful and they don't really know how to articulate or just market themselves, right? What I do when I talk about myself is I always include how I am resilient and I overcome obstacles. That is like my pitch, my bio. They're gonna ask for times where you failed at something, but generally that is my story in life. So this is my answer to when they ask me about myself. Well, my journey began when I decided to go to college. I had no idea what I was getting into because I was a first generation college student. I bombed, failed out my first year of college, and I decided to redirect myself and join the military. I knew that I needed resilience and structure and determination. So that is the reasons why I joined the military, and I gained so much more than that. But I came out of it with resiliency, values that I never had, and a different perspective on life. So I came back to New Jersey, finished 2 undergraduate degrees, and I'm currently in graduate school as I finish out my active duty orders. And yeah, like I'll just go on and on and on. But the key thing about it is that I always disclose like just overcoming, right? Employers are looking for somebody with character, with values, someone who's coachable yet resilient, someone who's confident in what they can do and also humble enough to say what they can't do, right? So when you talk about yourself in an interview, talk about a time when you overcame in your life. Not specifically in a job position or a role, but just in life in general. Like everybody has experienced hardships, and being resilient enough to come through that hardship and end up where you are today, that is like a great selling point. Another question they're going to ask you is, why do you want to work for us? And so this goes hand in hand with doing research for the job you are applying for. Not only know the requirements and the qualifications for the specific role, learn about the actual company, the mission, the vision, the strategic plan that the company has for itself, and see how you fit into the overall picture. So for example, there was a tech company that I had applied for, and they were really big on philanthropy, giving back, and developing the United States economy through capital management and giving back to the community. So I noticed that they were opening up shops in Detroit, Milwaukee, Hartford, like in specific cities that are inner cities, that are hoods, that most people wouldn't want to open up businesses in, right? And I told them, like, I personally align with that mission. I love the fact that you're doing that. I come from an inner city. I know what it's like to struggle. And that's why I really want to work for this company. I know that I'm just applying for this little position in human resources, right? It's not like I'm applying for a C-suite role. But the fact that I know what they're doing as a whole shows that I care enough to do research about the role, and also the fact that I personally resonate with what they're doing is fantastic. It always blows the interviewers away. So make sure you do your due diligence. If you want a video on how to research companies for interviews, let me know in the comment section below. You know, the typical questions, you know, that they're gonna ask you, that they've always asked you, is tell me a time where you exceeded standards or expectations. Tell me a time where you failed at something. So prepare yourself for those kinds of questions too, but also prepare for the question of how did you bring innovation to a company? I feel like that's a very 2021 question. What did you do? Like, what did you create? What did you install? What did you produce? What was something brand new that you brought to the table, whether it was an idea that was actually implemented or it wasn't? So I gave this simple example of how I decided to use Google Forms to capture contact information of all of the soldiers in my unit instead of doing it a paper way. And it was easier, it was more efficient. Something that would take 2 weeks to do took like 2 days to do. And I was like, I know it seems small, but just the efficiency in that process makes everything so much easier. I just started elaborating about how this one simple thing, this one simple change, and the use of technology helped the whole process become smoother and quicker. And that just simply blew a lot of interviewers away. So like, be sure that you have a story where you actually came up with an idea, because a lot of people, especially when it comes to talent acquisition, they're looking for employees to actually contribute to change management and innovation. So if you're not going to be able to contribute something new, like new ideas, you're probably not going to be an ideal candidate. Lastly, they're going to ask you if you have questions for them. This is the time to take full charge and ask any questions you want, but don't ask really selfish questions. What do I mean by that? How much do you guys pay? What is vacation time like? What is PTO like? Like, don't ask about those types of questions, because they're gonna just assume that you're only there for the money. And yes, we work for money, but what human resources moving from simply filling a role to having a person who will actually bring more to the table than just simply doing the job description. They want some real questions, right? They want real solid questions that's going to make them think. Good examples of questions I used was, how does the company plan to grow within the next 5 to 10 years? Why is this position vacant? Is there high employee turnover? What is the company culture? Do you offer mentorship programs? Will I be able to cross-train? Or what is your development plan for me if I'm hired? What are some characteristics or behaviors that you notice does not work well in this role that I'm applying for? And lastly, a question I always leave for the end: do you like working here? And that always seems to catch the interviewer by surprise, because, you know, I'm watching them. I want to know if you actually want to work here, because if you don't want to work here, I don't want to work here. And that makes them realize that they have to sell the job to me too. And that's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video. Yes, you're applying for a job. Yes, you need the money, or whatever the case may be. You need the experience, whatever. But they need you too. That's why the job opening is there. So it's a mutual thing. You're not doing them a favor, okay? So if they don't like working there, or if you get the sense that they don't like working there, or if their answer seems really generic or made up or hesitant, just know, right, that there's a possibility that you might be in a toxic work environment and you might hate it. But other than that, like, most of the times, I want to say 9 out of 10 times, the interviewer actually ends up like trying to sell me so hard on the role, and that kind of takes that does like a power shift there. It goes from the power is in their hands to the power is now in your hands, because now they have to like tell you why this job and this company is so great. You know, it's kind of cool. So I hope this small little snippet helps you to prepare for your interview. I hope you do well in your interview. Let me know in the comment section below if there's any questions that you've noticed in 2021. And yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, do all of that fun stuff. And yeah, I will see you in my next video.